Good morning, it's Mario from AT Overland. Today we're going to go and walk through a brand new Aterra, our latest version, Generation 3, built onto a Ram 3500 crew cab truck that is a cab chassis. This truck is equipped with an Overland Explorer vehicle's Alumitray flatbed. It's all aluminum and powder coated, and it has big storage boxes. It has a nice side storage box here in the rear, behind the wheel well. A very large storage box in front of the wheel well. And on top of the bed, between the camper and the cab, has a massive box in here, large enough to carry most of the gear you might possibly need. It's pretty impressive. Then it has this nifty little storage right here. This contains the step ladder that connects to the side of the truck bed to get access into the camper. It's a great way to keep this out of the way. And then above that, there is a headache rack storage compartment that goes all the way across, and that's long enough to store skis or rifle cases, whatever else that you might have. You could even put a set of Max tracks in there if you wanted. We built this truck with a best-in-class bumper made by AEV, American Expedition Vehicles. This fully stamped bumper has got massive toe points on it. We equipped it with a come-up 16,500 pound winch with a synthetic cable and a wireless controller. It's very handy when you are doing a recovery solo. Also, we equipped this vehicle with a WeBoost over-the-road cell phone booster. This is the external high-gain antenna, and then on the inside of the vehicle, there's a small antenna that connects to the cellular devices. Often we get special requests from clients. This particular client has got a family and wants to carry their full quiver of 6 mountain bikes. So the customer provided this Lolo rack, which hangs the bikes. What we needed to do was extend the receiver hitch out and away so that you could still maintain a decent departure angle. So we designed and fabricated this hitch extension that is then triangulated in with turnbuckles and chain to keep it rigid and keep it from moving. It's very, very solid, and it's a good way for the client to carry bikes when it's season for bikes, and then also remove the entire system when he doesn't need to carry it all. In addition to that, the family's avid snowboarders and skiers, so we added this alu box, 192-liter alu box onto the back so that they can stow their skis and snowboards in the back. Overland Explorer Vehicles incorporates a rear drawer into the back of their heavy-duty flatbed tray for the Ram cab chassis 60-inch. It's a relatively shallow drawer, but it's a great place to store certain supplies that you might need on the trail, like an air hose or deflation devices. Our client opted for our fresh air replenishment system. What this does is it takes inside air, brings it to the outside, and then brings fresh air to the inside. And while doing so, it balances the temperature between the two and removes condensation. What you can see up here on the driver's side rear end of the camper, this black box, that is the thermal exchange device as part of the fresh air replenishment system. The upper pass-through on the Alumitray goes all the way through and is accessible from both the driver and the passenger side, which can be pretty convenient. In addition, on this truck, because this is a gas truck and the gas filler is at the rear of the truck, there's an additional compartment right here. And inside, we've stashed an ARB air compressor, so it's out of the way and can be safe and not, buried in dirt. A lot of times when compressors get installed underneath. The air tank is underneath the Alumitray. We've also extended the track along here so that the step ladder can be brought over to this side of the camper, and when the spare tire is unleashed, then it can be rolled down the stairs or rolled back up as you swap a tire out. It makes it a lot easier to manage that weight. This is the mechanical side of the Aterra. Here you have the Truma on-demand hot water heater, which is rated down to -4 Fahrenheit. We also add the electric element to make sure that this thing stays operational down to that temperature without propane. It's a water fill, water vent. Inside the mechanicals compartment, you'll find the battery, the air heater, the wireless switch system by Garmin, all of the fuses. Every single wire within the Aterra is labeled. So if at any time you or someone else has to service this camper, you know exactly what every wire is. Exterior outside drain for the sink. Our client asked for a way to maintain the battery while storing this in a storage facility. So we put an outside outlet, and inside the camper there is a small charger for the lithium-ion batteries to maintain them at peak charge. This is the intake and exhaust for the air heater. There's also an outside shower. This is the opening for the shower valve. You plug in there, you turn right or left to adjust the temperature. And this is a shower enclosure. It's made by Easyon, and it opens out like this with two arms, and it comes almost all the way to the ground, not quite, leaving it out of the mud, and that allows you to take an outside shower. For a propane locker, we have a full insulated door that's vented, and we use standard 20-pound propane cylinders. In case you're traveling and you can't get a cylinder refilled, most of the time you're able to find a hardware store or grocery store where you can do a swap with another brand of tank. All of these doors share the same key, as does the front door of the camper. So you only have to have one key for that. And on the Alumitray flatbed, it's one key for all of the storage compartments all the way around. So your total key count for the camper and the tray is 2 keys. All right, one of the options we offer on the Aterra is an 8-foot Fiamma F45 awning. It's a great awning. We use our brackets on it. It's an easy awning to deploy. Straight out. And then instead of taking the legs to the ground, we actually take the legs to the body of the truck. This creates a more stable mounting for the awning. And then we just straighten this out to where we want it. And presto, you've got a patio on the side. This is ideal when you park the truck facing south, which is optimal placement for the solar panels. That gives you a shaded west side of the camper for the afternoon. Keeps it cool on the inside. Set up the camper is pretty easy. We already set up the awning, so that's nice and it's shaded. We're going to grab the step ladder. Pull the step ladder out of the front compartment. Put it into shape. Hangs on the bracket on the side of the camper. Pull out the stabilizer handle for entrance. Open the door. And there you go. Good to go. We're inside the Aterra right now, and I'm going to show you some of the storage features which make this unique in the camper space. So we have these very large underbed drawers that pull all the way out. What's nice about this is somebody can still be asleep and you can still access the gear that's underneath the bed. So there's a total of 3 of these. They're all the same size. Well, one of the unique features of this bed is that if you sleep across the camper, it's a queen. So it's 80 inches by 60 inches. But if you want to turn this into a king bed, we have a very simple way for doing that. Pull the drawers out a bit, and then the whole bed platform slides backwards. And then you'll hear some Velcro pulling away as I pull the bed out. The whole bed system slides out. And there are cushions back there that you push them back, and then this becomes a king and you sleep from head to foot that way. You may ask, how am I going to get up on this bed because it's so high? Well, we have incorporated a set of steps into the camper in order to do that. So we pull out this key, and we have an upper step that pulls out, and the key locks the step in place. And then we have a lower step. Pull this out. And it locks the bottom step. These steps are rated for 275 pounds each. So the next thing I'll do is I'll climb up onto the bed and I'll push the cushions to the back, and then that'll turn this into a king. Underneath the king bed cushions, we have some hidden storage compartments that allow you to keep some things out of prying eyes when you're traveling. Maybe it's your laptop or your passport, something like that. Then the cushion goes over the top. And now you have a full king-size bed. To keep this king-size mattress really comfortable, we use the Froley spring system underneath. This keeps your mattress ventilated, and these springs are adjustable. This little red tang here stiffens the spring, and then this is softer. So it's like a Sleep Number, but it's mechanical. One of the things that we found irritating about other campers is quite often if you're going down a bouncy road, washboard, that your cushions come loose and they end up on the ground inside your camper. So we've resolved that. What we've done with the mattress here is we've put little pockets under the corners that grab the edges of the Froley springs so it doesn't move around. The other thing is, here's one of the 4 king-size bed cushions. There's Velcro here and here. What that does is that makes the long cushion adhere to the front of the cabin. And then your secondary cushion has a matching Velcro tab, and that sticks to that cushion. And that way, it doesn't come loose when you're going down the road. One of the cool features of our dinette is that while it's comfortable to sit in while you're dining or maybe working on your laptop, sometimes you just want to hang out and you really need a sofa. Well, this space converts into just exactly that. So you start by taking the tabletop off. Loosen that up a little better. Take the tabletop off. Put that out of the way. And we'll take the secondary part of the Landon table mount out. Put that off to the side. And we take the tabletop, put it in place here. Rests on the ledge. And then you take the cushions from the king-size bed and turn this into a double chaise longue. The 2 people can hang out, have a conversation, and just be relaxed. With the dinette table out of the way, this becomes your shower pan for the inside shower. So basically, you would stand here. This is the drain pan, and then there's a shower curtain that velcros to the ceiling and comes down, and then you have a shower connection as you did outside right here. And then you have a shower connection right here next to the dinette. So this camper is equipped with our fresh air replenishment system, which is essentially a way of thermally balancing the incoming air with the outgoing air. So in order to keep this environment healthy on the inside in cold weather and have all the windows closed up tightly, you have to bring fresh air in so that your air stays healthy. We've accomplished this with the thermal air exchanger, which takes your outgoing air through this small vent, takes it through our thermal exchange, injects fresh air from the outside into the plenum, and then brings it out through this fan here to the inside. So this is your incoming fresh air. There's a very simple switch here. I'll turn it on, and it makes almost no sound whatsoever. There's a very light flow of air, just enough to keep this space healthy on the inside. The Aterra camper has 5 Arctic Turn windows, which are a double pane window that also have a blackout curtain. on the top. And they have a bug screen on the bottom, and then you can decide how much of which feature you want to execute. They have a latching system. It's very stout, and they're all hinged from the top. So they have a partial opening there, soft ventilation, all the way up to pretty full and allowing a lot of free-flowing air to come through here. It's really a nice window. So we have 5 of them that open are hinged from the top, and then we also have a roof hatch, which is electrically activated up here. You can see that movement. It also has a bug screen and a blackout curtain, which you can deploy as you see fit. And then in the bezel of this, there's a set of lights, which provides perfect light for working on the dinette table if you're doing remote work. These windows are also all at the perfect eye level. When I'm sitting here in the dinette seat, I can see straight out without having to hunch over, which is really nice. Makes it a lot more relaxing to be in this space. Kind of like a cabana by the beach. Another great feature of the placement of these upper Arctic turn windows is that when you're using the bed in the king mode, and the bed is pulled out to here, this window ends up being right over your head. So you can control ventilation on your side of the bed. You can look outside, you can see the stars. Or in the case of the other night, we had a full moon. It was so bright I couldn't sleep. Just blocked out the lights so I could get some sleep until the moon went down. But it's a really good placement for it. Also where it is in the camper, up high, contributes to this really nice natural ventilation without having to run a fan to get air movement on the inside. All right, what we've done in the Aterra, we've made sure that there's a lot of USB and 12-volt power ports for devices to be recharged. This is a double port. It has a conventional automotive 12-volt port, and then there's also a double USB 4.8 amps, 5 volts. And then that is right around where the edge of the bed comes so that you can put your device and plug it in, leave it here overnight. Just it serves as a nightstand. And we have several of these around the camper. There's 2 here. There's a double USB port in the back, one immediately behind you, and then also on this other side for the other sleeper, and then down underneath the dinette. There's plenty of power ports within the Aterra camper. There's 10 USB ports and 4 automotive 12-volt power ports. Immediately as you come into the camper, you have access to a switch to turn the mood lights on, which are the perimeter LED lights. And these lights are also on the Garmin power switch, so you can dim them or control them remotely from your phone or from your Garmin Overlander or Tread device. You can also control your outside scene lights. So at the rear and on each side of the camper, there is a scene light that are normally used in ambulances and service trucks. You can turn those on from this switch. You can also control them from the Garmin power switch as well and dim them so you have a soft light in camp, or make them super bright in case something goes bump in the middle of the night or you're backing your truck into the bushes. Underneath the dinette seat, we're utilizing the wrap-on waterless toilet system. The way that you access it is very easy. Take out the back dinette cushion and the bottom dinette cushion. Okay. We turn the toilet on with power switch. It'll beep, and then we'll go ahead and we'll do our business. We put in a pack of powder, which is a coagulant powder. What that does is it gels the liquids, deodorizes, and sanitizes. And then when you're done with your business, what you do is you push the flush button here, and it'll pull the fabric or the plastic together. So you can see it'll do that. It'll come together. It clamps. It turns on a heat sealing element, and it takes about a minute for this process to complete. For the Aterra kitchen galley, We're currently using the Dinette combination sink stove. It has 2 burners, a piezo lighting system, which you can hear, and we have on-demand hot and cold running water. Here we use the National Luna DC to DC 40 amp charging system. This manages the 400 watts of solar on the roof and manages the charge back from the vehicle. So you can see, you power on, you can switch between your batteries. You can see that the camper batteries are full and that 12.1 volts for the vehicle battery, so you can monitor both from here. This controller here manages your air heater and your hot water heater. So both functions are managed from here. What's nice about the Truma air heater is you can set it for a minimum temperature. It'll maintain that. You can also schedule it. So if you want to get up early to go out and go fishing, maybe you want to get up at 6, but it's cold and you want your heater to warm up the camper at 5:30, you can set that timer and it'll go off just like an alarm clock. It's awesome. And then from this control panel, you also manage the fresh air replenishment system and the water pump. Above the kitchen galley, we have a ventilation fan. You turn it on from here, and that pulls heat and steam and odors away from your stove while you're cooking. And also to improve your cooking experience, you've got a light immediately over your stove and sink so you can see exactly what you're doing. When you're done with it, simply pull it closed and it's good to go. This fan you can have on in the rain. It has a shroud on the outside that prevents water from coming to the inside. Instead of using a lot of drawers, which require a lot of hardware and require loading and unloading when you come back from a trip, we decided to use the Step 22 Stingray bags. We hold them in place with a simple key, and they pull out, and they can have any personality you want them to. They have a write-on label here. You can peel that label off and change its personality. They're very lightweight. What's nice is if you like to cook outside and you have certain things for cooking, you can just take this whole thing outside with you and take your kitchen with you. Keep them in place, you drop the key back in, and it's very simple, low tech, but it works effectively. So you have a total of 8 of these full-size Stingrays, and then we have these small half-size Stingrays that fit here. I personally like to have one for my spices and one for my mini bar. You also have storage underneath the countertop and access to all of the plumbing. We also have storage underneath the dinette seat. You have a pretty large compartment there, and you have a little bit next to the toilet as well. Under the dinette seat that also has the toilet, there's an additional storage compartment underneath. And this is good for stashing supplies that you might have. I keep trash bags and toilet paper, things like that in there. It's also access for one of the bolts that holds the camper down to the flatbed. On the other side, we have another compartment here. This is actually a hanging closet. So it's got a little closet bar in here, and you can hang clothes. It also has access to one of the other bolts that holds the camper in place. Now, down here on the lower level, on the floor here, you'll see that there is a hot air output and cool air intake for the forced air heating system made by Truma. And then you see this oval slot here. We have a backlight on that, but it allows you to visually see how much water is in your 30-gallon water tank. It's a lot easier than having a gauge that's unreliable. We also have a propane and carbon monoxide sensor built in. And then immediately above that, we have the National Luna 90-liter fridge freezer. We've made this so that you can remove the fridge if you're going to take it out for some reason. Maybe you're going to use it in your garage or take it into a cabana. So you have access ports to reach the latches and remove it. This is the 50-liter fridge compartment. It has 3 baskets in it. It's quite deep. And you have another basket down the bottom. And then on the freezer side, you remove the lid, and you have a top basket and a bottom basket. The reason why we like to use the National Luna fridges, not only are they super efficient because when you open the door at the top, they don't spill out all of the cool air, but like a front-loading fridge does. And a front-loading fridge, that door also takes up a lot of space out of your floor plan. But the National Luna fridges are really, really efficient. We have seen on average with the 90 liter in the camper only pulling about 2.5 amps an hour, which is incredible in the portable fridge market. It's also one of the best available on the planet. We use a really simple solution for the flooring in the Aterra. We know when you go out camping, you're going to get the inside of the camper pretty dirty. You're going to have pebbles and sand and junk and stick to your shoes, and you're going to drag it all in. Well, what we've done to keep the inside easy to maintain is we're using a standard gym flooring. So this is a 1/2-inch foam mat. It's super durable. It's used in gym floors, like I said. And one of the nice things about it is if you get a pebble on the floor, it's soft enough so if you're barefoot and you step on it, it doesn't push the pebble into the bottom of your foot, which can really hurt. The other nice thing is this is completely removable. So you can take this out when you get back from your trip and you can hose it off, clean it with soap and water, whatever you want to do. If you really damage this stuff, who knows what might happen, you can easily replace this. The Aterra camper uses the Arctic Tern Wildland door. This is a great door because it is aluminum on the outside. It's got an acrylic window. The screen and the outside door move together. There's a little detail here that sometimes gets overlooked. Most campers just have a center latch. This actually has a bottom bolt and a top bolt. And if you zoom in here, you'll see that when I engage the door, it's engaging this bolt system. What's nice about that is that when I lock this, it's locking top and bottom simultaneously. And this is the same key that's used elsewhere on the camper, so you don't have to carry a bunch of extra keys. Now sometimes when you're out, you want to have ventilation through the door, so you can separate the main door from the screen door. The inside of this door has a stainless steel security screen. This is really durable. If you had a pet inside your camper, they could scratch at this all day long. They would never impact the fine bug mesh on the outside, which is really a nice feature. And then this can be fully locked. So you have a secure screen door. Another nice feature about the Wildland door is it has a keeper built into the handle. So when you want to keep the door open, you just bring it over here, click it into the keeper, and that holds your door open. Very stout door, really well made by a good company, Overland. Putting the awning away is really easy. We loosen up the leg. Engage it there inside the housing. Loosen up the other one. And then use the crank to close it up. So we have a convenient place to store the Fiamma crank. Straighten it out. And there's a couple of clips. Press it in place. It's convenient and out of the way, but easy to access even if you're standing outside. Well, it's great to have you visit with us today and see the Aterra, our apartment on wheels. We love this camper and we know our customers do too.